It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NHL.
Keller relays one back to Sergachev across. Uyghur arrests her off a stick. Rebound ends up in the net. The Mammoth get a bounce, and it's the top line cashing in to tie the game. Utah makes some changes as the Golden Knights try and get this out. They cannot. Gunther, a one-timer, and he scores! Utah's master marksman delivers, and it's Dylan Gunther's first Stanley Cup playoff goal. Dylan Gunther moving in. Gunther with a burst of speed towards the net. Shoots! Rebound! And they score! Logan Cooley gives Utah the lead in period 3. The kids are all right.
And the Utah Mammoth get the win 3-2 in Las Vegas. The series tied 1-1. PK Logan Cooley. He's young, he's inexperienced, but 2 goals in his first 2 playoff games, a game winner. Awfully good start.
Oh, yeah, the kids are all right. Mommy's all right. Daddy's all right. Everything is all right.
A series that we were told would be 2-2 after 4 games is 1-1 after 2 games, coming back to Utah. Mackenzie Weegar, that was a fortunate bounce there. Dylan Gunther, the one-timer, well, he's done that actually dozens of times. That was right in his wheelhouse, both literally and figuratively. So, how'd you like that last 6 minutes? That feel pretty tense? We always hear about playoff hockey. It's the best. Feel the tension in the place?
I had no tension. To me, it's sports, but not really. I don't think in hockey, because things happen so fast, it's not like dribbling a basketball or fouling off 3 pitches and the intensity builds. I just think that you go for 60 minutes as hard as you can, and whatever happens is something that happens.
They will go again Friday night, Game 3 at the Delta Center. Elsewhere, Tampa Bay beat Montreal 3-2 in OT, so that series is 1-1. Boston, this time they protect the lead. They beat Buffalo 4-2. That series is 1-1. And Colorado beats the LA Kings 2-1, and they are up 2-0 in that series. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama has a concussion after a face-first fall. He played just 12 minutes of the Spurs playoff game with the Blazers. And with him limited to just 12 minutes after that concussion, the Blazers were able to win the game 106-103. That series is now tied 1-1. And Victor is TBD for Game 3. Concussions, historically, a week to 10 days, but everyone is different. We'll see what they do with him.
Okay.
A major loss. It makes me think, I saw an interview a couple weeks ago with Stacey King, PK, who played, won 3 titles with the Bulls in the first Jordan three-peat, and now he's a Kings broadcaster, and he was asked about the MVP. And he said, well, there's 3 players who are head and shoulders above the rest of the league. He said, but if the word is valuable, he says, if you take SG off Oklahoma City, they're probably still top 4 home court in the first round. He said, if you take the Joker off of the Nuggets, he said they're probably a play-in team, probably between 7 and 10. But he said, no, I think if you take Wembanyama off the Spurs, he said, I'm not even sure they could make the play-in. He's the most valuable of his team. All of them are awesome, but the other teams have more players around them. So there's the Spurs without Wembanyama and a playoff loss.
Yeah, I think Stacey King is with the Bulls, not the Kings. But
sorry, yes, the Bulls, yes.
Unless his name is Stacey Bulls, that'd be cool.
Nope, no, it's Stacey King with the Bulls, sorry. And we watch these playoffs through the lens of the Jazz and a rebuild, and how good can the young guys be, and how soon can they be good? And how about VJ Edgecombe, 30 points, 10 rebounds, number 4 pick in the draft, rookie. Look at him get it done.
I think that's what we were talking about, but I believe, not to continue to correct you, but I believe Edgecombe was the 3rd pick of the draft. Connie Knippel was 4th.
You're right.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, how the teams that drafted ahead of the Jazz with Ace Bailey, would any of those teams want to trade? Seems like and Dylan Harper's with not getting as much opportunity because the Spurs have a little bit of a decent backcourt there, and Edgecombe was right there as well as anybody. That as far as there'd be no way that Philly would say, unless you can get Cooper Flagg, but I mean that's not irrelevant because he wasn't available when Philadelphia drafted, and so these guys seem to be all satisfied with their top 5 picks, and that's pretty good. If you redrafted, well, it's only been 1 year, so it didn't really count, but it looks like in 5-10 years, if you redraft, who knows what's going to happen, but all these guys would be satisfied, and Edgecombe had the NBA body and is making an impact right off the bat. They've got to be excited. They've got to be ecstatic that they were able to get him.
Philly beats Boston 111-97, so that series is 1-1. And the Lakers beat the Rockets again, 101-94. LeBron had another big game. Durant did play in this one, but the Lakers still win, 101-94.
Oh, yeah, I think it was all about the backcourt of Smart and Kennard. They were like 16 of 26 and 8 of 13 from 3. If they're going to play like that, then it doesn't matter who you don't have. I don't know that they can play like that a lot, but good for them that they did it 2 games in a row, particularly Kennard.
Orlando at Detroit tonight, 5 o'clock. Orlando won the opener in that series. Phoenix at Oklahoma City at 7:30. And the Thunder rolled in Game 1 in that series. So there's your playoff doubleheader tonight. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, former Orem High and BYU star, will be a full participant in the team's offseason program, according to Sean McVay, the head coach. Puka checked himself into rehab earlier in the offseason. He's been hit with a lawsuit by a woman alleging he made an unprovoked anti-Semitic statement and later bit her on the shoulder. So the legal stuff will continue, but Sean McVay says Nacua will be with the Rams.
Put your teeth on my shoulder. Woo! Not to say that happened, but I just want to change the lyrics and sing that song.
Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders says the Browns' new OC Todd Monken has brought a new vibe and a new energy to the franchise. Sanders splitting first-team reps with Deshaun Watson currently in Cleveland.
Way to go.
Patriots coach Mike Vrabel told reporters, I've had some difficult conversations with people I care about, my family, the organization, the coaches and players, in the aftermath of the photos of him with NFL reporter Diana Rossini in a hot tub, published by the New York Post.
Yeah, you're not going to get me to have any interest in that story. And to continue on the correction, Todd Monken is the head coach, not the OC for the...
Former Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin will be working as a studio analyst for NBC Sports this fall. Longtime coach going to the TV booth, just like Cowher did. Different network, but
I think he's going to go do the draft right in the hometown. It's in Pittsburgh, or as they're calling it, Pittsburgh. Get it? Pittsburgh.
Oh, draft humor. Cool. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Indiana coach Curt Cignetti said he'd overseen a defense-dominated spring the past few weeks as the Hoosiers try to repeat after a perfect season and a national championship. He said they have more depth and more talent this year.
I think he's trying to set a tone. We're better than we were last year and trying to get his guys to believe it.
Pretty difficult to repeat what they just did. We'll see how close they get or if they pull it off.
Well, I mean, they don't have to go perfect to win it all.
No, seems like most champions lately haven't. Ohio State the year before didn't. I guess Michigan did, so 2 of 3 recently. But there have been plenty of one-loss teams. And the president, Donald Trump, repeating his call for Congress to pass legislation that would rein in college sports at a time athletes are allowed to move freely and command salaries that stagger some of us. He made the comments as more than 100 athletes from 7 different teams were at the White House celebrating NCAA championships in 2025.
I would go to the White House to celebrate no matter who was in charge.
Yep.
Might be the only time I get there. And I've never been there. That would be cool to be in that facility, in that structure, in that crib.
Huh. I was in it once when I was in high school, the East Wing that's been torn down now. I wish I remembered more of it. But I remember the long wait in security to get in, and now with security, you don't even get as close as you used to. So, DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Well, the Mets had the lead at home against Minnesota, but Minnesota comes back and wins the game 5-3. So that's 12 straight losses for the Mets. Combination of bad baseball, and bad luck, PK. I mean, 12 in a row, you think they'd win one. Even if they weren't very good, you think they'd occasionally pull out a game here or there. This is a massive streak.
The longest since 2002 for them.
And because we're all talking about the Mets, nobody is really talking about the Phillies, who've lost 7 in a row. They were beaten by the Cubs, who've won 7 in a row. 2 teams going opposite directions in the last week here. And Schwarber went deep, and Harper hit a 2-run homer, and it wasn't enough, and the Cubs win 7-4.
And the Royals had lost 8 in a row, but they broke that streak. It's amazing, streaking. Giants
beat Yamamoto 3-1. Dodgers held to 1 run on 3 hits.
Fire Dave Roberts.
I don't think so.
Extend Dave Roberts.
Give him another week. You know, for all the high-scoring games we have seen in Denver, a 1-0 game there. That was a little surprising. And load management for Miller. They didn't bring him out of the bullpen with his long scoreless streak.
And the run came on a bases-loaded walk.
Yeah. A 2-out rally. And there was a double, I think, to get it started, but they had a hit by batter hit by a pitch and then a walk.
Man, I can never get anything past you. You always have explicit detail beyond what I said.
I messed up multiple times.
Did we really need to know how the bases were loaded?
You've got multiple things past me. Clearly.
I can pick some obscure thing, and I'll say something off the top, and then you'll fill in with 17 details. We got it. You know sports.
The Bees beat Las Vegas 8-5 last night. Game 2 in their series tonight.
Right. Rodriguez hit that double up the gap, man. It was unbelievable.
I got nothing to add. Coverage on the KSL Sports Zone will start at 7:50 with Tony Parks on the call. That game will be on 1280 The Zone. The FM signal 97.5 will have the RSL game. So more games tonight right here on The Zone, family of stations. DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Lionel Messi brings all his celebrity and all his star power to Utah tonight. Enter Miami and RSL at America First Field. First kick set for 7:30. Coverage will start at 6:30. RSL 4 home games, 4 wins. Can they keep it rolling? They have never won 5 in a row at home to open the season before. Can they do it tonight against Lionel Messi?
Well, this is going to be most exciting moment for you in your soccer play-by-play career, is it not?
Most exciting. They've had some pretty exciting moments getting in the playoffs, but, man, there's never been celebrity and star power like this.
Right, hence your most exciting moment.
Yeah. DJ and PK.
Hashtag golf.
PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolap says the PGA will consider additional pathways to bring back LIV Golf players who might want to return to the circuit. LIV Golf reportedly in financial peril. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund considering pulling its huge financial investment in the Upstart Tour. I love this additional pathway. PK, won't they just create some rules and do whatever they have to do to get the stars back? DeChambeau and Rahm, obviously the 2 biggest names.
Yeah, I think the tour can survive without those guys, but if they wanted to have them come back, I mean, the LIV, it's just like the USFL and all these other leagues that try to compete with the big ones. It doesn't work. It goes for a little bit, and then it peters out.
What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Evan Brennan, NFL certified contract advisor and agent at the JL Sports Agency, is going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock to preview the draft in Pittsburgh. And Kurt Schmidt, Real Salt Lake Chief Soccer Officer, at 8:30 to talk about tonight's game with Messi. Plus, it's a Win Tickets Wednesday. We have tickets to see RSL and Portland May 2nd at America First Field. We'll give those away coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. DJ and PK, the question of the day is next.
Turn it up. Let's go. It's a new era for sports radio in Utah. This is the all-new KSL Sports Zone. As always, DJ and PK kick off your mornings from 6 to 10. Then introducing the newest addition to the KSL Sports Zone. The coach, Tim Lacombe, joins Scotty G every day from 10 to 2. And as you wrap up your day, Jake Scott and Ben Anderson are there with the best sports talk in Utah from 2 to 6. Live and local, all day, every day. Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is live, on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.
The KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. And listen every Thursday afternoon to Jake and Ben for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Question of the morning up on our Facebook page. If Steve Kerr is done, what is his legacy? It's a guy whose name has been in the basketball headlines for a long time. Darren says, I always liked Steve Kerr. He's pretty much won everything in basketball. Cue the haters in 3, 2, 1. Kevin got too involved in politics and ruined his reputation. And that is the basic PK framework of these comments. There's a few people in between. Jared, his best trait as a coach was cashing checks.
Well, it would be everyone's best trait. That's why they do it. They don't do it for free.
Hey, could I fly all over the country and hang out with you guys and you don't have to give me anything? Said nobody ever.
I think his legacy is the coaching for the NBA titles and then being a role player who hit a few big shots as a player. And he was fortunate enough to be with some really good teams. It's not like, the Bill Russell story where he says, boy, I was really lucky. All my teams won. I think Steve Kerr was really lucky that all of his teams won. Bill Russell's teams, he wasn't lucky. He was the reason why they won.
Yeah, he actually Kerr bounced around, so all of his teams didn't win. But when he got to a couple of franchises with stars, they did win big. 2 with the Spurs and 2 titles with the Spurs and three titles in a row with the Bulls. But obviously, the Bill Russell role was being filled by MJ and then by Tim Duncan. So,
yeah, and he contributed to those, and that puts him where he needs to be legacy-wise.
He was at the forefront of three-point shooting as a player. He didn't. They didn't have three-pointers when he started his career at Arizona, but he got to shoot them the last year, and he shot 57%. And when he retired, he held a bunch of three-point records in the NBA. So he was a shooter. But like you said, that was his role.
Yeah. And he made, obviously the one against the Jazz, and some others. So he carved out a decent role-playing career for himself. You got to admire that. Somebody who was lightly recruited out of high school and got an opportunity. I think the story goes he caught the last scholarship there for the U of A, and they were winning at the time. Lute Olson had built it. By the time Kerr came along, which was like in 1984, I think, somewhere in there, and so he'd got there right at the start and experienced a lot of winning there. And I don't even know, was he a free agent? Was he a second-round pick? Was he a first-round pick? But to be able to carve out a career like he did as a player is pretty doggone impressive. And then the coaching, the coaching he's got a little bit of Phil Jackson thing going on there, to where you could say, he gravy trained. Okay, but that job was open and they hired him. So I mean, why would he had opportunities? Because I had heard that the Jazz were interested in him when they were going to be making a change with Tyrone Corbin, and maybe the Knicks were interested in him. So he pulled an Urban Meyer essentially, didn't he? He looked at the situation, looked at the rosters, and said that one seems to be better than the others. I'm going to go there. And who wouldn't do that? I mean, obviously, in retrospect, it was 100% the right decision to make. We don't know what would have happened if he would have gone to the other teams, but we do know what happened by him going there and had that opportunity to win. What are you going to do? You're going to criticize that? Go put yourself in a winning position? Yeah. If nothing else, he's a smart dude.
There's that. Pick your situations carefully.
Yeah.
They don't grade coaches on a curve. Well, you've lost a lot of games, but your players aren't very good. You're fired.
I think some of them do, though. I would disagree to that to an extent.
Maybe you can buy a little time, but you still get fired. And I think Donovan leaving in Chicago, and I don't know that we can characterize that as a firing exactly, a parting of the ways. Is he leaving in part to set himself up for another job down the road? We'll see how this plays out. He did get there 6 years, and he only had one winning season. So, not gone immediately.
No, but I look at somebody like Jerry Sloan. He did not ever win a title. In my mind, that detracts from nothing from what he did as a coach, because he had the opportunity to squeeze as much talent out of the lineups and rosters as they had. And there may have been a few underachieving playoff performances there. But how much is that on him? How much is that on the players? And so the players got to take some accountability for it too. And so
with Phil Jackson and with Steve Kerr, how many underachieving playoff performances did they have? I mean, the achieving does come down. You got to have the players. I mean, you just have to. Nobody wins without them. But were there any years, or were there multiple years where you thought, man, they left a lot on the table there? And they gave up a 3-1 lead. Draymond shouldn't have gotten kicked out. I mean, you can always point to that and say they should have gotten that title. They barely squeezed out that last one. And I think a lot of people did a lot of things right to get that title across the finish line.
Oh, well, I'd have to look at the most recent ones to see it was this team better than it could have been. Not when they were winning at all. What were they doing at that point? That's where I would look, and which is why it's coming to an end. I mean,
Matt says the dude has a ring on all but one finger. That's pretty legendary.
Well, and if he cut one finger off, then he'd have it covered.
Going Ronnie Lott now, huh? Take the pinky off. That one doesn't get a ring. It's just the tip, just at the last joint. Maybe they could squeeze a ring on it. I don't know.
Put a ring on it.
Thank you, Beyonce. We got a couple people with predictions. They didn't want to go to Steve Kerr's legacy. How about this for a prediction? Matt, if the Spurs lose this year, Steve Kerr's coaching career is not done.
Well, I don't know.
Back to San Antonio where he was tied with Popovich.
They won 62 games this year.
I know. They weren't exactly terrible.
It doesn't seem like Mitch Johnson's going anywhere anytime soon.
And that's not a franchise that tends to blow through coaches, right?
Not since Tarkanian left. Your guy.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I don't know who they had. I just remember his was a short stint. I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd make a change there. The San Antonio's just getting started, and now the coach has his excuse if they go out. His best player took a big-time fall. I was watching it at the time, and you're like, ooh, ouch. And he had that hardwood, especially for him when Biyama being so tall, he's got a long way to go from the face to the hardwood because he's so tall. And he hit it, and it's clear he was dazed and down and out. And my wife's, we're watching it together. She goes, "Where's the trainer?" It's like it took him 10 minutes to get out there. And then obviously he got up and took off and went in the locker room, and we'll see. It certainly was a hard fall, but essentially they've got, if they lose, they got their yeah, but.
He has an amazing legacy. He isn't done. He'll go on TV for a bit, but he'll be on everybody's short list. He's done TV before, and he was good before. I'm sure he'd be good if he wants to do it again, if he doesn't want to completely step away from the game and take time off. I can absolutely see his name being on everybody's short list. He's 60 years old, PK. That seems right in the sweet spot where he absolutely could come back and he absolutely could decide, no, I'm going to retire. I'm done. 60's good enough.
That's a lot of absolutes, man. He can make an absolute decision then.
He can do absolutely anything.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to continue to coach, 60 isn't even close to being old in terms of, the game has passed him by. I don't think that, and obviously I'm biased now because I'm older, but you can stay current if you want. And I think that he would have no problem doing that.
Him going on TV would be one way to stay current. Keep his name and his face at the forefront.
I don't think he needs to do that, though.
He probably doesn't have to, but he could. And that would do it.
He could absolutely do anything he wants. I think he should run for office. He's got a lot of solutions. Now's the time, man. Make a difference. Don't stand on the sidelines, literally, and tell us what the other guy should do. You do it. Governor, didn't they just have another guy who's running around with the women who got, he's not going to run for governor? Here's his opportunity to be a governor of California, man.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
Go get it. No incumbent running.
And I don't know, I have no idea what party he's representing, but the guy who holds the office, he's not running. So I don't know, I don't know about any incumbent. I don't know what party that is. So the job is there for the taking. That's what he should be doing. Now that I think about it, yeah. At least, if you're going to lecture us, get paid to lecture us, right? Here's his chance. Make a difference. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Come on. Power to the people, right on.
Power to the people. That's old school.
Right on.
Right on. Nice.
Yeah. He could unify the state of California.
Fresno and San Francisco, they're just not aligned. Let's unify people.
I think it's individuals. I don't think it's communities.
Yeah.
And I think communities, they kind of go together. I mean, look at you. You live in the city of Salt Lake, the city of Salt Lake City. And we all know where they lean.
Juan Antonio Samaranch.
We all know where the city of Salt Lake City really leans, right? Hardcore the other way. That's why you moved out from your suburban area with a bunch of them people and moved into where the like-minded people. I know you did that.
Godwood Heights, man. I just didn't fit.
I've been there. I walked them streets.
What are you, Johnny Cash? You've been everywhere.
That's close to my religious neighborhood, thank goodness.
We needed more space. That's what it came down to.
Space? Yeah, I know. You were getting boxed in. You could barely breathe. I see what you're saying.
There's no air near Big Cottonwood Canyon.
My wife wanted to go in that neighborhood. I said, be careful. I guess she went there yesterday.
She did. I thanked her.
Unbeknownst to me. Did it all on her own. It wasn't my idea.
That was an independent decision, huh?
Oh, yeah. She told me after the fact. I honestly did not know that she was going to do that.
Oh, that was nice of her.
I would have said, screw them. Let them worry about their own problems. We got ours.
Community leader Patrick Enahan.
Hey, my mother always said, charity starts at home.
So the classic, I don't feel like we can leave this discussion without the classic sports radio question. Mount Rushmore of NBA head coaches. Who you got?
Oh, man. I wish Rushmore would have had like 5 or 6.
I know, right? Why does it have to be 4? Why is that the number?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. That's so tough. I mean, it's all subjective, so there is literally no right answer. And that's the beauty of sports and the beauty of Sports Talk Radio is a lot of this stuff, there literally isn't a right answer, but 5 people have 5 different opinions, and they run with that, right? I mean, you could look at Popovich, too, and couldn't you say everything you want to say about Kerr outside of the actual playing career, but when you're just talking about coaches, couldn't you put him? I always thought it was funny that Phil Jackson got dumped on for gravy chaining, but Popovich didn't. And they keep winning the lottery, literally. And those guys can make a really big difference if they're that good. And the guys that they got in the lottery, Robinson and Duncan, were really that good. And then Wembanyama here. My gosh, we talk about the Lakers being lucky and having all these dominant centers. Well, Spurs are right there with them, man.
Super lucky. So fortunate.
And now we want to change the bleeping rules. Bleep you, Hi-Ho Silver. No. But, in the final analysis, if you're going to go on guys who won the most titles, then certainly Popovich has to be considered, if not absolutely included.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just going most titles, Kerr, Popovich, and Phil Jackson go right to the top of the list, and you probably Pat Riley, got to throw him in there.
I mean, I don't know how you're leaving out Red Auerbach.
Of our lifetime?
Well, this is of our lifetime.
Just barely. Not really. I mean, he won some before our lifetime.
Change the rule. Don't tell me of your lifetime.
Okay.
And I got somebody who was, when I was living, I mean, I'm in diapers, crapping, burping, and sleeping, but it's still in my lifetime. It's not in my cognizant basketball lifetime.
It's not in your NBA fandom lifetime.
No.
The coach that I would want to put up there that I don't know, because, again, it was before my NBA fandom, although I was alive, Red Holtzman won 2 in New York, and people speak so highly of him. But to know what they were up against, what they had to pull off, the competition, the egos, all the stuff coaches have to do and juggle, I wonder where he would rank. He's certainly very well thought of and well spoken of. But
yeah, I was 10 years old. I remember it. I watched all those games, man.
That's your guy when you're getting invited to the Garden.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up at an early age because, and even as a kid, I wasn't watching whatever TV shows were on. It never really floated my boat. My viewing was, and where I'm fortunate to where, that stuff wasn't broadcast nationally as much, but I didn't need it because I had all the local teams there. And Channel 9 and Channel 11 would broadcast those games. And as a kid, I'd watch them all. And I used to go out in the playground and mimic the way Walt Frazier shot the basketball. I'm talking 7, 8, 9 years of age. I wasn't one of these kids like got up on Saturday morning and watched the cartoons and all that stuff. I just for whatever reason, it just wasn't something that I was looking for. And it's interesting on coaching, what defines a good coach and how do you know if you are one? Jerry Sloan staying a long time, that is something that's very impressive. And taking several different iterations of the franchise and winning with all of them, right? That's very impressive. Then you got a guy like Larry Brown, who's here today, gone tomorrow, but yet he won everywhere, right? At least, won competitively.
And he did win an NCAA title at Kansas, and he won an NBA title when he got to Detroit. So he does have the ultimate championship, but you could argue that his coaching legacy would be taking franchises that were totally broken and getting them to the playoffs like he did with the Clippers.
I was there, covered him at the time, was in the locker room when Larry Brown was doing that thing. Yeah, and that freaking thing was woebegone of all woebegons. And, he changed it around. And then, of course, he takes off, and that's what he does. That's what he did anyway. He reminds me of somebody like a Ricky Henderson who just wanted to play baseball. And even after his career as a big leaguer was over, he was still playing baseball. I think of Larry Brown as a basketball coach, Gary Croton as a football coach. You coach in high school, he's coaching junior college. The guy just wanted to coach football. You got to respect that, right? I realized it wasn't great at BYU those 3 years after the big season, but that guy is a football coach. Yes, he wants to just coach football, whatever level. It didn't really matter to him. He just loved coaching football. And I respect that. Doing something that you love and you're not really caught up in the glamour of it. You just want to coach. Yeah, that's what I think of Larry Brown. He's all over the place. And his teams usually were pretty good. So where would he be? He doesn't have the big-time resume in terms of titles. But, okay. And then what about Chuck Daly? People thought of him as a student of the game also, right?
Yep.
Don Nelson's another guy, bounced around many different places. And then this guy practiced medicine and coached basketball, Dr. Jack Ramsey.
Dr. Jack. It's funny, some of these guys you're naming as the Olympics went professional, you could really tell people inside the profession and who was respected, because a lot of these guys, like Daly, was given the first dream team. You could tell how respected he was. They could have picked a lot of people on that, and honestly, just about anybody could have coached that team to the gold medal. But they picked him for a reason, the level of respect he had from his peers.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about that. That's where J-Slo can be right at the top, man. You talk to those career coaches, Rick Adelman, Rick Carlisle, Flip Saunders. Those guys were in reverential tones when they talked about Jerry, even while he was coaching, not after the fact. When the record was done, then they upped the praise. And then they would always include, too, Phil Johnson. That was something they did. Always put both of those guys around the league. They'd be so well thought of and recognized. And there's something to be said for that. They should take, obviously Jerry's passed now, but Phil's still living, take a lot of satisfaction of staying in a place and doing what you did and having a lot of success. There's only one team that can win it. And then in basketball, that one team, there's been outliers, but a lot of the times that one team has multiple chances to win because of the dominant nature of one or two players, and they return for several years. And we see that. That's why these guys have, obviously Steve Kerr has multiples, largely because of Steph Curry and Draymond and Klay Thompson, and they got a couple there with Kevin Durant.
All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Stick around. NFL Draft Talk coming up. Evan Brennan's going to join us, player agent. He is going to be here at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Stay with us right here on The Zone. Join Scotty G and the coach today from 10 till 2. They're going to be at Tim Dolly Mazda, 10785 South Automall Drive in Sandy. Got another question up on our Facebook page here. Big game tonight for Real Salt Lake. Lionel Messi, widely recognized as the greatest soccer, or is it football, player of all time, is in town to play RSL. Are you jacked for the game? How fired up are you? Marv, not at all.
Why not?
He does not explain why, just not at all. Sam says, nope, I don't care for soccer. And Ben, Messi retired from high-level football years ago. Well, he just won the last World Cup, so it's, I guess technically, sure, that would be 3 years ago now, 3.5. Joe, it's a historic day in Utah sports. I love soccer, and nobody is more widely recognized worldwide than Messi.
I wonder where Joe served.
Let's click on that and see what we can find out. Well, his photos at Disneyland with his kids, and the kid's wearing a Jazz hat, so there you go. Fan of Utah Jazz, Real Salt Lake, and Lincoln Park from Kearns High and Salt Lake Community College. No telling. John says, well, it's better than the NBA playoffs. And Tyler says, yeah, it's not as good as playoff hockey, baby. It's that time of year. Whatever your thing is, you can grab it and embrace it, right? Messi's here tonight. There's people who watch baseball, basketball, hockey, and soccer. Pick your thing and go.
He's here tonight and gone tomorrow.
Literally.
But for those who are interested, it's a big deal. I think it's cool. I mean, I'm not a freak by any stretch. I actually went up to old Rice Eccles. I made a conscious decision when I went up to Rice Eccles to watch Landon Donovan.
Good decision.
Yeah, it was a conscious decision.
Nice.
It wasn't. A lot of times I make unconscious decisions.
What about subconscious decisions?
No, I don't have a subconscious. I don't even think I have a conscious for that matter.
A subconscious?
No, I think in order for you to have make a subconscious, you have to have a conscious. I don't have a conscious. But you can make a conscious decision. That's two different things.
My head's starting to spin now.
But I think you understand. I made a conscious decision. I went up to Rice Eccles and I said to myself, there's no way I can make money and get out of the office so I don't have to deal with those guys that I don't really like. And it's okay now because you don't work there anymore. We can expose it for what it was and get out of there. And, I didn't have that. If I were you, I probably would have made that conscious decision too. But I did go up and watch Landon Donovan play.
Or unconscious decision.
But that was a bigger venue, so I didn't have a problem asking for free tickets.
Could you have made a semi-conscious decision?
I've made many of those.
Nice.
It gets to 1 o'clock on the weekends. Yeah, in college. Many.
Oh, man. All right, we will talk more about the game with the Chiefs soccer officer. Kurt Schmidt is going to join us coming up at 8:30. We'll get more on Messi and RSL tonight at America First Field. Tomorrow, it's just like we're rotating right through things. Playoff hockey last night. Messi's here tonight. Tomorrow, the NFL draft gets going. There should be a couple of local guys picked on the first day, and the draft, of course, will continue through Saturday. Evan Brennan, a registered agent. We've talked to him in past years to get us up to date on what he thinks, trends in this year's draft, where some of the local guys are going to go. That's all coming up. He joins us right after the break, right here on 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.